Hey everybody, what's going on? This is Frankie B, and hey, I'm right back on the art as usual. So anyway, this time around, as you can see before me, but first, let me just not be rude. I just want to say thank you so much for coming again to one of my videos and my channel. I really do appreciate it. I also appreciate the fact that folks have been commenting. That really makes me feel really good because then it's like I love to chat back with you, and I just feel like people are starting to really get into what I'm doing with this channel and stuff. And technically, it's just me just showing people the art flow, and hopefully and inspire others to do their own art flow, and we just keep this thing going. So anyway, this time around, I'm going to be going back to a try and true IP that I've worked on now twice. I just wrapped up some Legends of Log pages for a new short story that will be coming out in a future issue, and this is just a character that has really grown on me. I'm very happy that Ski has allowed me to play in the Northwoods, and so this time around I got another one of Alterna's fantastic sketch covers, and this time around I really wanted to push some little IP curiosity that I had in my head. I thought about log battling something, and I just said, wouldn't it be cool if he was going up against Treebeard from the Lord of the Rings and stuff. So anyway, that's where this came from. So we have Bird, we have Log, and then again the classic, they're shouting out who they are and stuff like that. And Log isn't backing down. As I said before in older videos, that I view Log as almost an attitude of like Wolverine, or close to maybe Puck from the Alpha Flight. Just this kind of like he's a short statured compared to Kaju's or much larger adversaries. He's just a short, more stout kind of character who just has a lot of heart, and he'll just go and scrap. Oh, maybe even like Ben Grimm too. That's how I view him when I'm drawing him. So pretty much yeah, my approach to this is because the Alterna sketch covers have these spaces right here where you can put additional illustrations. I've been trying to move a little bit into making it a more complete illustration, so it's actually going through that one. But up here, I'll probably put a really gestural caricature of myself up there, just to play around and whatever. So anyway, as before in my previous videos, I've been smitten with the going back to my roots bug. So I've actually been inking with the old school brush. I'm using a Royal Zero, which was my fave brush to use back in the day when I was doing a lot more brush to inkwell inking. Although I still will be using my Pentel brushes. Pretty much anything I have in my arsenal I'll use, but the Pentel brush is great, and as I've shown in previous videos, they're great because of just their versatility and quickness. Again, a simple cartridge right there with some ink in it. You can, once you get it all locked and loaded, you can go ahead and fly. So anyway, especially in this business, time equals money, and the thing is that when you're up against a deadline and whatever project that you're working in, you want to be conscious, very conscious of your time. You don't want to be lingering so much that it affects the due date for whatever the project is. And that's across the board. It doesn't even have to be a comic book. It can just be anything. If you're working in advertising, something has to go out to be pitched to the client. It just needs to get done. So that's why the Pentel brush pen is fantastic for that. For something like this, yeah, I think it's important to, if you've been drawing as long as I've been drawing, even if you've been doing it for 10 to 15 years, you should play around with different things. If you've gotten away from using the traditional brush, then maybe it's time just to play around with it, just to see if you still got the capability to handle it. So with that said, let's get down to some drawing. Now, this again is going to be a mashup video. If you've been watching the channel, my mashup video is pretty much me just talking, show a little introduction, and just so you can get a sense of who I am. And that there's a human being right here that's actually drawing this by hand, by these two hands right here. And and that that there's a humans doing this, and that there's still people like myself that are still doing their traditional stuff, as well as doing things on the computer as well. The computer is a tool, Photoshop is a tool, but here's my real joy. My real joy is actually hand to tool to whatever what's that stuff I'm thinking of? Whatever that you want to draw onto. So it'd be paper, wood, whatever it is. There's a tactile kind of thing to this. So anyway, let's get going. So I'm gonna start up, actually surprisingly, with my Microns, because I want to get bird started. So first off, get this aligned really good. It's looking good. All right, let's do this. Now I've been doing a couple of these videos. These, and I've put them in the title. The art that I'm doing right here for these sketch covers are for potential. There's been a huge growth of online auctions, and it started during the well, they've been around, but they've been really kicking into gear since the COVID came out last year, and so they've been really instrumental and helping many artists, including myself, just to get our artwork out there in front of people who might be interested in purchasing originals. And so they've been a great asset, you know. First off, you're capable of doing all this from the security of the home, and you're also able to get different eyes on it, people who you may never, ever get the chance to showcase your work to, you know. So I've been taking these old sketch covers that they've been sitting around. You know, I just got them over the years. I just was like, oh, maybe one day I'll work on them. And this is that one day, that one day where so they come back to me, and I'm like, okay, yeah, I can. It's a way to sort of, you know, get some artwork out there, and you know, and into the hands of potential, you know, collectors. And hopefully they can give it a wonderful forever home. So as always, I'm using a Micron 01, which that is my I enjoy using. Again, that whole thing. I've never been a person who gets so locked down to you know certain artists who are just like, well, these tools are going to be the ones that are just going to somehow enhance your skill. I don't know. I'm not a big believer in that. I believe that if you have an initiative and you persevere, and you should be able to draw with anything. You know, you can take a tree branch and you can draw with it. You know, and you might surprise yourself. It might be something that's really phenomenal and unique and different. But if it's something that you enjoy and you're able to put out the work that you want to put out, then you know, who's anybody to come along and challenge that? You know, that's your work. That's your voice. All right. So yeah, as I just let out earlier, I wrapped up 4 more pages, short story of the a vlog, and it was really cool. It just was, you know, again, I feel that Ski did a fantastic job and sort of, I don't know, shaped the story to sort of fit my wheelhouse of you know, what I like to draw. And so I hope everyone, once they check it out, they like it and let me know. Such a cool character. It's interesting little world. Interesting concept. I like how he I think it's actually pretty smart that he's created log in a sense where it's these just short stories, and I'm sure that there's a larger story going on with the character. But by getting various artists to kind of work on it is really brilliant. And he has a main artist too, and the main artist's name is escaping me right now. Fantastic work, by the way. Fantastic. But yeah, I think it's a brilliant idea. It's a great way to get, you know, tell your story, but also get a lot of tremendous, get artwork and different artwork. And it's funny because none of the artwork kind of, you know, they just all kind of just flow together. I feel when I look at it all together, there's no like they don't flow. You know, all of our styles kind of complement each other, so that's really good. All right, let's see. Bird, what an interesting character. I think I said on a previous video how I grapple with drawing wings, because there's that point where I used to, when I was back in the day, I would go really nuts and try to get super detail, and then I drive myself nuts. But for something like this, as over time I've learned that you don't have to. I learned a lot from looking at, even at the stuff that Jim Lee's and I'll admit that, and what's his name, Mike Turner, the stuff like they would do. It's kind of influenced. Put some little more action in those claws there. And that's the funny thing too, is that once I draw an initial, when I have the initial drawing, there's always room. Like, you know, when you go in, it's not, you know, when I lay down the pencil, it doesn't mean I'm going to follow it. You know, sometimes you got to deviate from it. Don't be afraid to. Even a really good inker would know that. You know, really good, the old school inkers back in the day, they would save a lot of, sometimes, art. You know, I remember hanging out with Rob Stone. There was times when, you know, his drawing skills came in where he helped enhance the page, because he would catch something, you know, maybe a leg is off or something like that, which happens to everyone, you know, and then he'll come in and work it up and fix it. And that to me is what an inker is. They help enhance. It's like another process to the machine. They ensure that the final product's gonna look good. All right, so see there, I kind of wanted to show a little bit of, like, instead of like this big clump over here, this is the stage. Once I start laying pen down to over the pencils, and as I said before in previous videos, I'm so happy these days. Like I actually I've gotten back to doing more pencils first. For the longest time I didn't, and just because when I was working in advertising, it just, speed was such a necessity. So you had to find ways to really shortcut your time, because stuff had to get done. It wasn't, you know, you don't get that sense of, you know, got to keep, you know, take your time and that kind of thing. It's like, no, it's got to get done. So anyway, another thing I'm going to be doing is breaking out these. These are Copic markers, black markers that I got. I got a set of those, and these are really good, because they give me some different heads to play around. This is a 0.8 head, and it's nice and, you know, nice and bold. So there you go. I've been starting to do these hand, and again, I like to remind people I don't consider myself a letterer. When I do, I think it's cool to do them on sketch covers, because it's just another extension of the artist, you know, adding their extra little thing on there. So yeah, but by no means would I consider myself a letterer. I wouldn't letter a comic, and I wouldn't do logos either, unless it was a straight illustration. If they were just like, oh, we just need a straight illustration, Frank, then I'd be like, okay, that's not a problem. But that lettering is a whole nother animal. So all right, let's do that. Imagine Graybeard's voice to be kind of graggly and stuff. So yeah, so this is just, you know, feels like when I was in school, you know, probably say middle school, even in high school, and you're sitting there doing like these little drawings, and then you put like word balloons to them and stuff. Oh, I ran out of room. Boom. Right off the page, huh? Then it's like, oh yeah, I'm logged. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my big plump Sharpie right here. And again, this is a whole, you mix in what I'll do is I'll come in and add a couple of little with a smaller pen so that you can just add a little bit more texture to it. But there you go. Get that out the way. I don't have to worry about it. All right. Boom, boom, boom. So this will be the point where I'm going to be switching over to hyperlapse, so that you guys can enjoy this video as it speeds along with some music, funky little beats and jams. And as always, you know, what am I saying? The art must flow and the creativity stays strong.